Okay, let's be real. Do you ever feel like you're just drowning in all the information you see online? Well, in this explainer, we're going to build your own personal survival guide for the digital world. Think of it as a brand new toolkit for your mind. I want to start with just one number, 6. According to some pretty recent studies, that's how many times faster a lie spreads online compared to the truth. 6 times. That is a huge head start for misinformation, isn't it? And this quote just hits the nail on the head. Misinformation is exactly like a wildfire. It spreads like crazy and, it can be incredibly destructive. So the big question is, how do we protect ourselves? How do we actually fight back? To fight this digital wildfire, we're going to need a complete toolkit. So we're going to develop a detective's eye for spotting the lies, a debater's ear for hearing all sides of an argument, and finally, a builder's skill for making your own solid, persuasive case. You ready? Let's get started. First up, your detective kit. This is all about critical reading and knowing the vocabulary they use to try and manipulate you. I want you to think of yourself as a digital detective. Every post, every article, every video you see online, it's a new case file, and it's absolutely packed with clues. Your job is to find them. So what's really fascinating here is just how clear the differences are when you see them side by side. Reliable journalism. It's transparent. It tells you its sources, it gives you a date, it includes different viewpoints. Fake news, on the other hand, it loves to hide in the shadows. There's often no author, it's filled with typos and weird mistakes, and it makes these huge claims with absolutely zero evidence to back them up. You've seen these, right? Those headlines that are just screaming at you, "This will shock you," or "You won't believe what happened next." That is not journalism. That's a trap. It's designed specifically to hook your emotions before you even have a chance to think. It's the first thing they use to reel you in. And that brings us to a really key tactic: emotional manipulation. When they use these power words like shocking or unbelievable, the whole goal is to spark strong feelings inside you. And why do they do that? Well, because when you're feeling angry or outraged or even just super curious, your critical thinking kind of gets pushed to the side. You just react, you click, you share, way before you've had a moment to really reflect. Here's another really subtle trick. It's called either-or framing. This tactic takes a complex topic, one with lots of nuance, and just flattens it into a super simple choice: good versus bad, right versus wrong. It's basically designed to shut down your curiosity and make you pick a side instead of exploring all the messy, interesting details that are usually in the middle. And of course, there's social proof. You ever see that something is going viral and you just feel this immediate urge to check it out? Yeah, that's not an accident. This technique plays on our really basic human need to belong. It creates this sense of urgency, this fear of missing out, that makes us want to jump on the bandwagon without even asking where it's going. So, how do you protect yourself from all these sneaky tricks? Here is a simple 4-step routine. Number 1, just be skeptical from the get-go. 2, check your sources, not just one, check a few. 3, look for official information, go to the source. And 4, trust your gut. If a story sounds way too good or way too bad to be true, it probably is. All right, let's move on to our next tool. See, being a great digital detective isn't just about spotting lies. It's also about understanding complex truths. And that means learning how to listen, really listen, to an argument and hear all the different sides. So to practice this, let's look at a huge, real-world debate that you are definitely going to see online. Should social media companies be regulated? Should there be rules about what they can and can't allow on their platforms? It's a tough one. In a typical debate about this, you're going to hear really strong arguments on both sides. So one side might warn that forcing companies to remove content is a slippery slope to censorship and a major threat to free speech. The other side will argue that some claims are just dangerously false, like saying vaccines have microchips in them and they have to be removed to protect people. And then a third perspective might come in and say, hey, instead of banning content, maybe the real solution is better media literacy, so we can all learn to think more critically for ourselves. Okay, so being able to understand a debate is one thing, but what about making your own case? Let's switch gears from defense to offense and talk about how you can build your own strong, persuasive argument. So the classic blueprint for a strong argument is the good old opinion essay. It's got a simple but really powerful structure. You start with an intro that hooks the reader and clearly states your main point, your thesis. Then in the body, you build your case, paragraph by paragraph, presenting your arguments and backing them up with evidence. And finally, you wrap it all up with a solid conclusion that summarizes your points and really drives your opinion home. Want to make your arguments even more persuasive? Let's talk about a really powerful grammar tool, tag questions. These are just those little phrases you stick on the end of a sentence that can make your writing way more engaging and help you connect with your audience. Pretty cool, right? The main rule for using them is actually super simple. It's called the polarity rule, which really just means opposites attract. So if your statement is positive, like you see the point, your tag has to be negative, don't you? And if your statement is negative, like it isn't that hard, your tag has to be positive. Is it? Simple. But here's the really cool part. The meaning of that tag question can change completely just based on the tone of your voice. So if your voice falls at the end, you see the point, don't you? You're showing that you're sure and you're just looking for them to agree with you. But if your voice rises, you see the point, don't you? It becomes a real question. You're showing you're genuinely not sure. Your tone totally changes everything. So, why should you care about any of this stuff? Because these aren't just skills for getting a good grade in school. These are skills for life. Let's zoom out and talk about the bigger picture here. Because what you're really building here are superpowers. Seriously, media literacy and critical thinking aren't just school subjects. They are essential life skills, and they're all built on a foundation of really important values: integrity, honesty, and discernment, which is just a fancy word for the ability to judge things wisely. These are the tools you need to be an informed, honest, and truly empowered person. Make no mistake, the stakes are incredibly high. This quote says it all. In the world we live in today, your attention is the most valuable currency there is, and every single day, companies, algorithms, and people trying to manipulate you are all fighting for it. Your mind is the target. So I want to leave you with one final tool, and it's not a rule or a technique. It's a habit. It's a single, powerful question that I want you to pause and ask yourself every single time before you click, before you believe, and especially before you hit that share button. Who benefits from your action? Is it you? Is it the truth? Or is it someone else with an agenda you can't even see? Asking yourself this one simple question, that is the ultimate key. That is how you take back control and become a truly mindful navigator of this wild digital world.